let's build this F14. It's 1/72 scale, Academy kit. It looks lovely. As usual, I'm using my nippies here just to cut the parts off. These are my Dispier, whatever they're called. I can never get them right. It's nippers. They're quite expensive, but just a normal cheap pair will do the job. Using Tomcat extra thin cement, my favourite. And this is just the cockpit we're building up now. They're just the pieces, adding them all together. And there's the dash or whatever you call it. And spraying the grey now into it rather than fitting all seats and everything and then doing it, because I want to paint the seats up and do all of that separate. It's the nice seats these, to be honest, for what you get with kit instead of plastic. I'm just doing my decals now. These are easy enough, just little dots all. There's about 7 or 8 of them to put on, but I'm using Mr. Mark setter for first, and then when they're on I will then put a little bit of Mr. Mark softener on them because it just helps them sinking a little bit better. But they seem to fit fine, not a problem with them. I'll just clean any excess moisture off or whatever with a cotton bud. But yeah, I forgot about the side ones. There's 4 of them to put on as well. So you've got your dash and then the sides. I'm just getting seats some paint now because I've done these separate, like I say, and it just, when you do them separate like this, you can just get a bit more control rather than ending up painting everything inside cockpit as well as the seat. These ejection handles, they're meant to be yellow and then some black lines on it. It's definitely hard to do them, but I got them done anyway, as you can see on that there. I'm gluing the seats in now, and in all honesty I'm making a mistake there because I didn't realise how much the stuck up are to the actual aircraft. So when I came to painting the aircraft, I took the seats out again, just gently eased them out. And this is just the cockpit tub, as you'd call it now, getting glued together. And underside there you can see that's one of the wheel wells, that's the front wheel well. I've painted that up already because it's easy to do it now, and then you can just fill it like I do with a bit of blue tack and then it's done and dusted. But you don't have to, you could do it like, well, when you're doing other wheel wells for the bigger wheels at the back. And these are the wings. They're a little bit different. They are 2 parts of the thing, but you can see there's like a ratchet system in the hanging on end, and that's what gives that manoeuvrability. Click together like so, and there you go. You can move the wings. Brilliant. Very easy to do. But I'll just glue these together again with a bit of Tomcat extra thin. Right, so I work my way around it all when I do these. I only show you the first bits, otherwise it'd get a bit boring watching me gluing every tiny part. Right, I forgot to put these 2 bits in here. You can see. So I've had to use a bit of my Tomcat extra thin, just run it round edges, and it's allowed me to part it so I can now get these in. I just go on to 2 little nibs there, so that when it's in, it's not clicked in on that side right yet, but when it's in they'll come out, there it is, it'll come out with that other wing. We all make mistakes. There you go. There you go. So when it's going in and it goes into like the afterburner, so there. Well, it's all back together, so it's just gluing it up now, and it's just again Tomcat. That's the greatest thing about this Tomcat extra thin. It literally melts the plastic, so like that. When I made that mistake, I can easily fix it. Well, I say easy, but you can actually fix it. So now we've got the cockpit section's going to get glued to the rest of the aircraft, the main frame. It's a little bit wobbly that, so I'm just going to be a bit careful. Get a bit of it in, and hopefully it will stick together, and then you can just work your way around it all then, like so. Just realign it a bit better. And then you just come round the rest, just gluing it up. It's not the most perfect fit, that, but with a bit of teasing you can make it. Engines, they're very simple. They're just a few pieces. Stick them in, that out top. And in all honesty, you can't see them. It's that far down. I mean, it tells you to paint them and everything, but unless you can actually see it, I never tend to bother. The very back ones, I tend to do it because you can actually see inside, but I don't do the veins, fins, whatever they're called. I ain't got a clue. These just glue straight in. There is a locating point, you can see it on the other side. Easy enough done, just make sure they're straight. These are the rear engines now, but I'm just gluing together. Only a couple of parts there, and you just shove them in. As simple as that. I try and line up the fins. I believe they're lined up. Make it a little bit right. It'd be nicer if it had some locating pins so you'd know exactly it was supposed to go somewhere, but it ain't, so just leave it at that. They just easily push in and get glued in them. And then the rear wings, and these, I mean, they're lovely fit. They just glue straight on, and they're a good solid fit. I've had them on other aircraft. For some reason they never seem to. They just break off all the time. These tail ones, they're spot on. Just make sure that, to what I've seen on photos, and I'm not saying I'm perfect here, alright, but they look slightly off being perfectly upright, so I've done them at that, but I might be wrong, but who knows. These are I think they're the drop fuel tanks, and they go together alright. They need a bit of sanding though after, because they're not the perfect fit. These are what are holding your missiles and your bombs on these ones, I believe. They're a little bit fiddly. You have to hold them together like that because it just wants to move apart all the time. So I let it on, let it dry a little bit, and then just start and go around the rest. It's the easiest. Again, rest of the actual holdings for bombs, or missiles, rockets, anything. I suppose there's all sorts could fit on these if they wanted, but that's what I've done. Right, Vallejo primer black. Now, you'll find out later on, I've probably made a mistake using this one, and I should have used a better, probably, primer than this. I let it dry, because it was seeming to bead a little bit, and then went over with another coat, and it was perfectly fine, but it's not a very durable primer, this. And as you'll see later on, I'll start and realise that, but there's no what I can do about it now. But anyway, it's going on alright. As you can see there, it's nice, smooth, flat finish. So, blasting some white now into these wheel wells, and it's just something you thingy so that it can be quickly then blasted over with the main paint, which is MRP paints. I've got a few of these in different greys, so I've just mixed up 3 different greys so that I can spray them all up. So this is the medium grey, and it goes out lovely. It's a brilliant paint, it's MRP. It stinks like hell though. Oh, my wife goes crackers when I use it because it stinks the house out. But it dries really quick and all. And this is the darker one now, so I'm going to go down panel lines, the main ones, down them ridges as you can see, around areas where I think that it should be darkened. And if you look on any photos for F14, they're all like this near enough, that are grey. Although there is some different coloured ones, but most of the grey ones are like this. But yeah, it's a painstaking thing that I'm doing here, going around them all, but I think it's worth it, isn't it? When you look at it, you start and think to yourself, yeah, that looks pretty good. I mean, already you can see it's getting some, as I would call it, some features are showing, some characteristics starting to come out of it, and I've only done the first colour on it, the dark grey. And there is some more colours yet to add to it. You've got the black to go on, because there's a few areas that are black, like the tail and that, but this is the lighter colour now, so especially where I've oversprayed a bit much, I'll start and put it in the middle of them. But in the middle of the main panels, this is the light grey, and you're just bringing back now another highlighted centres, as you'd say. I think it makes it look nicer, but then again everybody's got different views. After putting a load of masking tape on, I'm doing the tail sections in black, and I will do where you can see it's unmasked at the front where the fins are, get a bit of silver onto that. So it's all primed up. I've got a gloss coat on it. It's Tamiya's clear. It's one of my favourites because it dries quick, that's all, for just putting on so you can get your decals. These decals, you can see there's not a lot, but they're nice little decals. I ain't had a problem at all with any of them. And that's how quick it is to put a decal on when it's a nice flat smooth surface. I've got a few around front. This is where most of the decals are actually, is around the front, like so. Can be a little bit fiddly to push into place at times, but if you just persevere with it, and if it does get where it starts drying up too much, put a little bit of water or a little of the softener on, setter, sorry, not softener. This is probably the biggest decal you get, and it's just to go across the tail section, and they look brilliant when they're on these. Nice bit of colour in it, stands out well. Just get a cotton bud just to wipe that off. I did, after paint, you can see the actual tail sections, the silvers on them, because I knew I'd have to do that after I'd done black, that's why I left it off. And this is just your normal MIG black enamel wash. And just blast it over everything. I thinned it down some more than what it comes out the actual bottle. But all I use is a bit of terps, or white spirits as it's called, but I use that low order stuff so it's not as smelly. And just rub it off. Simple as that. After tissue or kitchen towel, anything like that, and you can just rub it straight off, and all the panel lines will be left full. And if you want, you can leave a little bit more on to give a bit of weathering. Don't take it all off. But yeah, it just simply rubs off. You just got to keep turning your tissue over because it just fills up quick, that's all. There, look. But when you've done it, it does leave an absolutely beautiful finish on it. Really does. There. And all the panel lines now you can see there, they're all stud art. It does look like it's got a lot of depth now. Clarity to it, where you can see down into it, and it looks like it's got some proper 3D shape to it, rather than just a finely scratched line. I'm painting up these engine, well, exhausts, and I use free paints overall on it when I do it, and you know, there's no point, because they all look, when it had dried and it had got a bit of weathering on, they all looked exactly the same colour. Because I was using a chrome, a matte version and all sorts, and in the end I might as well just stuck that one colour on and left it. What I'm using now are a new product. I've never used it before, and they're called shaders by MIG Ammo, and it states that they're an acrylic base paint and especially formulated for producing shadows and stuff like that. So I thought I'd try them. You never know. They're only a couple of quid a little bottle, but I wouldn't say they're going down great on this gloss paint. I really wouldn't. But it seems to make a nice darker shadowy area. It's a very low PSI I'm running, and I've really dialed back on the amount of paint that's coming through as well, so you're only putting a very thin amount of it down. But yeah, they seem to work well, look nice. These are just your normal oil brushes. I just used a little bit, just put a few bit more marks, bit more dirt about, and then just rubbed it about with a wetted brush, thin brush. I didn't want to overdo the weathering because I get going with it and I always overdo it. I always make them look worse than what I should have done. These are just your wheels and that, gluing them together now, ready for putting in. Again, it's all pre-painted. The wheels, trying to paint them after does my head in sometimes, but you have to, don't you? It's alright. I thought that were a bit strange at the front where it sticks out, but I had a look online and it looks like they're like that anyway, so I just left it as it was. The rear ones, I tried it first like that with that piece, to put that one in. Seemed to work alright. The second one I added it first. These are the doors now that you're adding. You've got one to stick there, then one there, and there's one further back on that there. I've already added the ones at the front. Again, all painted, all pre-weathered. That's the tail up for when it's landing on aircraft carriers. It's just got a couple of points what actually glue, nothing special. And I always use this Revel contactor glue when I'm gluing anything where I've got paint on now, because that Tamiya extra thin, it will not stick with the paint. So we're putting bombs on. First lot, I said bombs, the missiles, but first lot are going on there, and the next ones go on some arms. There's 4 of them. They look quite good. Lots of decals though to put on them. Is it something like 12, 13 on each one? Oh, did me head in there. But they look well though. They stand out well for it. Drop tanks on. There's only one decal on each of them, and you can't see it because it's that light grey. And these are what hold your air-to-air missiles now. And you've got the bigger one here. Oh, get it again. Put it on. And the only way that fits on is sat really forward. And then when I've looked at the instructions, that's what it looks like it is actually sat, because it shows both missiles are nearly at the rear, being close together. So all I can think it is like that. The second one's got a little locating pin, so it's not too much of a problem. There's 2 pins for that for when you're putting it in, so that's easy to get right. You just make sure you press it in so it's got a nice seat. Yeah. Now these are the seats I took out because I knew as soon as I came to paint it, I knew I'd break the tops off the ejector handles. That's why I gently teased them out. Now I can glue them back in, and it's fine. The ladder, which is a beautiful little add-on, put that on. And the cockpit, sticking, first time I've used Elmer's glue, and I'll let you know how good it is at the end. And the last piece of it, which I've put the glue onto the glass this time rather than onto the frame of aircraft. And there. And we finished it. We've had a couple of accidents. I've broke off that part there. The 2 little parts should be on there. 2 little, they're about half size of them. I've already broke that one off. That one never got put on because I fired off my tweezers. I do wish, and this isn't a go at Academy, but all at manufacturers, little tiny parts like these, and same with nozzles at the fronts and these little tiny bits, wish they'd give you a couple of extras, just because people like me, a bit clumsy, fat fingered or whatever you want to call it, because I mean, I've got arthritis and that in him, but it's easy to make a mistake like that. So yeah, but other than that, she's completed. First thing, it all works. The wings, I'll just push them in, and push that back down, and there you go, they come out. Try not to do it too much because I'll show you why in a minute. Oop, push that back in, that's it. They did come apart inside, so they're not working as good as what they used to do, but they still do it. So, I'll just push that one back out, that's it. and that one. These vanes, they did away with these actually after this model. This is the A version, and the very first ones we had them on. Then they realised we don't need them to do that for when it goes into afterburner, fast speeds and that, and they welded these shut. So they didn't do that anymore. But it's nice for an inclusion on this model because it is the A model. Right, back to kit. You can see when they're going in and out, scuffing paint off. That's doing my head, but there's nothing I can do about it. I've tried fettling it. It's inside, it's well under it as it's doing it. I thought initially it was just catching on that bit, but it's not. It's well underneath it. I don't know if it's me. There might have been something stuck there still down. I don't think it is. I just think they've got that section a bit too tight. But it could also be I've just how it's squeezed up tight. It could be the paint on it. It could be out. I've got a better primer next time. That one. But I'm going to be honest with you. That's not primer coming off. That's not back to start. That's down to my paint that I put on the underside there. You can see it's taking all my gloss coats off. That. But got to live with it. It ain't going to change. It's just a shame. Put that back in there. Underside, lovely. You get a nice selection of missiles, bombs, everything else. Fantastic. I've got even more missiles than that left if I wanted to put them on. It's just you can vary to do what you want. The inclusion of the ladder is another lovely little thing where it comes down and you can pilots getting in and out. Wish they'd done the canopy different so you could have it open, but because you're gluing that top section down onto this bottom bit, that bottom bit there in reality comes up with the canopy when it opens, so you can't just have that glass bit up. It won't be right, so you've got to have it down at the minute. You could probably work a way out, cut bits off or whatever to make it more easier, but hey, that's it. But £16, 19 pence that is, from Scale Model Shop. So like, if you go to like Wonderland Models and a few others, you're picking it up for like £17.99, which is about the highest price I've seen for it. But it's a fantastic kit for money. It really is. For a 172 scale kit like that, that's brilliant money. It really is. Certainly a bargain in my view. The other thing is, I glued canopy on with Elmer's goes on purple, dries clear, get it from any supermarket. Seems to have worked perfect. It's a really good bond. The only thing I will say is, when I did it, you might just see some teeny tiny beads there. And I wish I'd have cleared that off, because I've now read it on back, and typical me, didn't read it first, but it says you could wipe it off with just a damp cloth. A wet cotton bud, and just wiped it off, and it probably got rid of them beads. But it's note that, in all honesty, it's not to worry about. And then I've tried these shaders from Ammo. Yeah, I quite like them. They're alright. They're not the greatest thing, I'll be honest with you, because first off, I was putting them on a gloss coat. Absolute failed. But them three colours I've just shown you there, they all come out looking the same. I'm going to be honest. But the one I really, really do like is that ash black. That ash black, which has gave that smoky, dusty effect, as you'd say at the back. Let me just grab it. That's a bit better. There. Let's get that, and I think that looks absolutely beautiful. Really do. Right nice effect there as it goes around that back, as if it's the end from the engines. Really do like that. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this build, and I have really enjoyed making this. This has been one of my favourite kits I've made for a while, this, to be honest. Then again, I've always loved an F14, can't beat a Tomcat. But if you've enjoyed watching it, be grateful if you give me a thumbs up, and even better if you'd subscribe. I am putting models, making videos up and everything as fast as I can. My problem is, I'm a roofer, so I'm doing as much work as I can, normal work as I can, because this is just a hobby. This is to keep me happy and entertained, and hopefully you enjoy watching it as well. So subscribe, lovely, thumbs up, yep, fantastic, And if you hit the bell if you subscribe, even better, because you'll see when my videos go up. And thanks for watching, and hopefully you'll be around for the next one.